I need your instant reaction on this. A few weeks ago, you went on a whole tangent, a whole spiel about how much you hated what you considered overrated San Siro.
Yeah.
And just as destiny would have it, can I offer you a Champions League semifinal where the only place where both legs will be played at is at the fucking San Siro?
I realized I was a little flawed in my take.
Oh.
So my initial take was the acoustics, the sound waves don't travel that well in San Siro because it's very perpendicular. It's basically almost a perfect square, a perfect rectangle, if you will. Both sides basically meet each other. There's no curvatures, but it's a really beautiful stadium. It's very big. But because of that parallelism, the sound waves kind of cancel each other out. What I forgot to take into account was I was considering Milan between 2012 and, let's say, 2018, 2019. A considerable 7 years out of, let's say, the last 12. And during those times, both Inter and Milan were, pretty garbage.
Yep.
And I think that definitely played into the idea that San Siro, in my eyes, was not as loud as I thought it should be. But seeing Milan and Inter Milan play these last 2 years, seeing the people of Milan show out in the San Siro, it's the loudest I have ever heard it. Now, obviously, I haven't watched football like prior to 2009, so maybe at a time it was also very, very loud. But I think that's what played a major point in it. Both Milan teams struggled for like a good 7-8 years, bro. And I think that played into the idea that the sound wasn't as big. But, bro, now, especially like in these Champions League encounters, that stadium's fucking rocking, dude. It really is. And so I'm actually kind of excited about this tie, bro. Okay. I'm very, very excited about this tie because it's going to be lit. We have a derby as a semi-final matchup, man.
That's rare.
That's so rare. Two teams from the same goddamn city going at it for a chance to play in the UEFA Champions League final. I'm incredibly excited to see what happens, and I'm curious to know, bro, who do you have going through? Because low-key, I'm kind of at a loss here.
Really?
A little.
I feel like there's an easy answer here.
I thought the same thing too, but then I really analyzed it and I look back at all of the past games
analyze, brother?
that both teams have gone through, and I think this is going to be incredibly tight.
Yeah,
it's going to be incredibly tight.
Yeah, okay. I do retract what I said. I initially, there's an easy answer, I think, but
yeah.
Lately, man, I've been going into a lot of games thinking that one team is just heavily favored against the other. This applies to both soccer and fucking NBA playoffs.
Yeah.
And we're seeing some crazy upsets happening just all across. Girona beat Real Madrid today, bro.
Right. yeah, crazy.
And so I'm being a little hesitant right now, man. Maybe there's some sort of juju energy in the air these past few months where we're just seeing some crazy results. So I think this is going to be hella tight, man. This is going to be so physical. That midfield battle is going to be one for the ages, man, because both teams have incredible battling, physical, tough midfielders, and their squads are just waiting to just gain possession of that ball and push the team forward. My initial gut feeling, though, does go with AC Milan, man. I think AC Milan in almost every section of the pitch just has a slightly better advantage, man. And it starts all the way at the back with Mike Maignan. I think it's just a better overall keeper than what Inter Milan has to offer. Defensively, what I saw from AC Milan the last 3 times they matched up against Napoli, one of the most fierce offensive teams in the world right now, how they were able to shut them down over so many games, I think is just probably one of the best examples of a team that's ready to face any sort of opposing team. And then the midfield battle, man, I highlighted Tonali, who I really like. You also have Benacer, who can bag yourself an important goal. And then up front, we already know what they're capable of with one of the most underrated players of this generation, Olivier Giroud. Just an incredible big game player who was just in a semifinal of World Cup, now at a semifinal of a fucking Champions League, man. Incredible form. And likewise, Rafael Leao, who's playing incredible this year too, up front. When we compare that to what Inter has, just section by section, I like what AC Milan has to offer more. And I think ultimately I'm going to see them progress to the Champions League final, man. So for me, to answer your question, I have AC Milan winning, man.
Yeah, I think overall, when you look at Milan's offensive portion of their squad, I think they have more to give for sure. But I think the reason why it'll be a lot different when you compare the Milan-Napoli tie to this Milan-Inter tie is Inter know how to make the game incredibly physical. And that's why, in my opinion, I think Milan were able to have a slight, maybe psychological advantage over Napoli, especially since they were missing some big defensive players, Napoli. That why Milan were able to win that tie against Napoli. But I think Inter are going to make this a lot more difficult. And they're going to have to really make Milan's offense work in this tie. But because of that, I think it's just going to be incredibly tight. To the point, bro, where I don't know if I can just say a clear outright winner. But if I just had to choose face value right now, who's going to the final, I am going AC Milan.
Damn, okay.
I am going with you. Okay. Once again, agreeing with you. But I just think this one, low-key, could be like 1-1, 2-2 over both legs.
Penalties?
Maybe pens, maybe extra time, or maybe some crazy like late last goal in regulation to win it by a 1-goal margin. Yeah. I think it's going to be that tight.
Damn, dude, yeah, all for the privilege to get fucked by Manchester City.
At the end of the day, baby.